Hello, everybody, and welcome to the third episode of Headline Worthy. The issue of garbage littering has been plaguing our state for quite some time now. And while we've been trying our best to curb this menace of people littering garbage on the roadside or finding a dump yard and creating a heap of garbage, uh, we still find it a common sight in villages, in urban areas, where people indiscriminately dump waste, without the fear of punishment on the roadside or at open places. Uh, it's become a habit that uh, we can't let go of. And in this backdrop, there are a very few like-minded individuals and groups, who've been coming together as a community to fight garbage. They organize cleanup drives. They try to spread awareness using social media and tackling waste disposal problems. Swachh Bharat campaign was taken on by our central government, which was implemented in the state. But we don't see much change in the behavior of people when it comes to getting rid of their garbage. For them, garbage is something that is dirty, which should not be with them or around them, but it's absolutely fine to dump it in a public area or probably throw it in a neighbor's backyard. So in today's show, we'll be talking about how a community, if committed towards keeping their surroundings clean, can put an end to littering. We need to learn how to dispose of our own waste, and keep the open spaces and public areas free and clean. Tonight, we've got with us on the panel citizens who just don't shy away from taking up the broom and getting their hands dirty, whether it's collecting garbage or, segregating the different kinds of garbage that we have to allow for better disposal, and disposing of their waste. In fact, waste that is not even theirs. We have a very interesting panel with us today. In fact, there are a lot of Goans who do such good work, but I think it's been really difficult for us to select a panel. But we have with us a, a mix of experienced and the young who are into kind of garbage, those who are dealing with garbage. And we have with us Talula De Silva. Thank you so much, Talula, for joining us today. An award-winning architect with over 2 decades of experience in designing and building sustainable living, a writer and an educator, and she's also part of several action groups that aim to safeguard Goa and prevent further damage that's already done to our ecosystem and our beautiful and green state of Goa. Our next panelist, someone who's an ardent fitness freak as well. I just learned that recently. He is the CEO and founder of Yimby, which is Yes in My Backyard, which is a waste management consumer brand right in the heart of Panjim. He's the founder of hashtag Down to Earth, another initiative that organizes cleanup drives in Goa and educational programs. And I know for a fact that he collaborates with a lot of institutions, because you need to start inculcating the habit of segregating waste, of creating this consciousness, that you need to clean your own waste, and you can't have people all the time to clean your own garbage and your own mess. He's also been the consultant on waste management and Swachh Bharat Abhiyan for Government of Goa. Gaurav Pokle, is so glad to have you with us today on Headline Worthy. You've been striving for a trash-free land, seas and coasts through various cleanup drives. You've been trying to spread awareness about littering through videos on social media. You've been instrumental in conducting educational programs. How did this all start?
Hi, Danushka. First of all, how did it start? Even I don't know. I don't have an answer to it. But for me, it was more of an opportunity when I started into waste management. I thought, it was one of the most neglected subject. And being an entrepreneur into business, I thought it could be an opportunity to start something. That was my first take for waste management. But as soon as I started my journey, I realized that selling is nothing, that great. It's not rocket science. You can sell anything. The thing is, if the raw material for a product is not right, there's no point in selling anything. Like for example, in waste is only good if the raw material is good. Like for example, you say, you need to segregate. Plastic can be recycled, can be a source of revenue. But if plastic is mixed with any other kind of waste, plastic, the same resource is waste for the particular industry. So if your resource itself is not the type of resource you are looking for, then there's no point in continuing it as a business. The only thing you can do is just collect and dump. That's the only option that's left with you. So when I started my journey, I thought I should first get into the system and try and understand the system. So when I started my company, I made sure that I first stopped running the company, because, as I said, selling is not that difficult. So I started a company, I made profits, but I shut down the company, and I got an opportunity wherein I could speak to the government officials, because back then there were no rules. 2016 there was this a rule book of 2000, and most of the ULBs had not started door-to-door collection system. They weren't aware about what is an annual form that needs to be submitted on accounts of waste generated in the particular ULB. So that was the kind of work I started getting into, because unless and until uh, like the ULBs or the panchayats are known as the owners of garbage. So if they don't know what to be, what are the basic steps to be taken, how waste needs to be placed, because we used to see those cement ring dustbins all over, Goa, and people used to come dump their waste there. Panchayat or any other body used to come, or even locals used to go there, put fire to it. That was waste management. Or you would see a big vehicle coming, picking that waste up, and somewhere across the hill it used to go and been dumped. But with more urbanization, tourism, a lot of shacks coming, a lot of hotel industry coming into Goa, there was a lot of littering happening by the roadsides, by the river bodies, because doing business is easy, as I said, but at night after 12 o'clock, you don't want to keep that waste. You want it to be disposed. Panchayat never
Hmm.
grew the way the business and the industry in tourism grew. Panchayat was there itself. They didn't know how to tackle waste. So then there were some agencies who came in saying that we will pick up your waste. Give us 15,000 rupees, 20,000 rupees for a month, or 30,000 rupees a month, and they
Hmm.
would take it and they would dump it for them, so that they are not fined or whatever, and they can have a series of restaurants collaborated with them in the same truckload they could dispose. So this was happening in Goa, and this is actually in some parts it's still happening. There are these people who collect waste and they dump it. So for me, it started from there, that I thought, let's put systems into place. Uh, I need to speak to
Hmm.
the authorities in understanding what is the waste management rules 2000 speak about. So we started with door-to-door collection. So by 2014, there were all 14 municipal councils who at least started door-to-door collection. Maybe not in all wards that they could go in, but the collection system started. Then central purchase system, because earlier again their system was municipal councils individually used to buy dustbins or whatever. And what used to happen is, because there was no uh, eligibility for how many dustbins, how many labors, what is the calculation behind it. So we gave them the actual calculation how dustbins also needs to be calculated. That is per
Okay.
person per capita, what is the waste generated. So number of wards, number of population. So the waste generated in that particular ward would be approximately, suppose 200 kgs. So 200 kgs needs to be picked up by maximum 4 labors, not more than that. So likewise, such
Okay.
calculations were made so that municipalities understand what is the man force required, workforce required, the infrastructure required, the vehicles required, whether they are, they're overloaded, they don't have the capacity, they need to, you know, uh, mm, get annual calendars prepared for themselves, for gloves, masks, all this. So this was the kind of work I used to do, and I used to help a particular ULB understand what should be their capacity. That is, under Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, there is one concept called as capacity building. The sanitary inspector needs to
Okay.
know what is segregation, first of all. It is not that we tell
Hmm.
the public, but also, the staff needs to understand what it is. So my major study went into that, into understanding the law, understanding the rules, what the rules 2000 said, what the rules 2016 said, why there were two bin systems earlier, then how come there are three bin systems? Because in urban areas, people started using sanitary pad, diapers, the usage of that, and that particular thing getting mixed into dry waste, again causing non-recyclable and recyclable material together. Now Panjim started 16 waste segregation so that value could be given to a lot of waste. Like glass has low value compared to PET bottles and plastic, and it could damage your other type
Mhm.
of waste, because if it breaks into the same bin, it could cause it is harmful for the laborers and workers. So like that,
Mhm.
segregation was decided. Paper, cardboard, then plastic below 50 micron has no value. Above 50 micron has value. So what is the value that it could be like a trash trade or a shop with your waste kind of a concept. So these were the thing that I thought I should give my time into, rather than just only speaking or
And
talking or
and
giving
and was that
workshops.
worthwhile, Gaurav? When you invested so much time into waste management, and today when you still see, that nothing much is progressing in terms of mindsets of people, and we see the same thing happening, and probably people used to think it's education that is required. But look at how
Yeah.
Kalangut Beach is. Look at the various places. We also have educated people who are indulging into such an activity, which is not just disastrous for us, but also for our ecosystem. So do you feel dejected at times?
Not really, because I've been closely working, maybe with the officials also, even with the system and even with the people. I could see a little change.
Hmm.
I can see that little change. I can see few people changing. I could see even the systems changing. What I used to miss seeing, I have seen that basically, because I've closely working with them. Uh,
Hmm.
like, to be very honest, there used to be nothing that used to be transported as RDF, that is a refuse derived fuel, that is your reject plastic waste.
Okay.
Today we have more than 2 or 3 trucks of waste, which is sent as a fuel, into cement factories and all. Earlier, the same waste used to be into our landfills. So I have seen the
All right.
change. There are few composting plants. There are biogas plants coming up. There are people who have started composting. Like, I know more than 250 to almost 500 people who have joined my workshops, and they have started composting. They're still composting, through my concept of Imbi as a store. You know, uh, we sell so many household composters. There are people who don't have a budget. We tell them how to compost using an old bucket. So I could see those
Okay.
families coming, forward. I have seen students coming forward. There are people who are looking for alternatives for single-use plastic. It would take time. Now the major thing you
How
said,
much time,
when,
Gaurav, will it take?
see, that depends.
In your opinion, when will Goa be garbage free? Do you have a particular year in mind? 2030, 2040,
See, I'll tell you what is, I'll
2090?
tell you, yeah, no, I'll tell you one thing. What is missing into waste management is, it has to be habitual. It cannot be law. Okay.
Okay.
Because it's quite different from rest of the things. It has to be consciousness, which we lack into. Our education system doesn't teach you that. To be very honest, into the entire state, I've not seen one school, okay, which properly has segregation units, which recycles. Uh, when I was a kid, there used to be something called as Bobber job. We used to work. Now parents don't want their kids to
Absolutely.
work. Okay, so forget about composting in school. They won't like them to dirty their hands cleaning up, because there were 2 3 schools who approached me. I won't name them. Like the teacher said and the student said we want to come ahead, but parents objected for their kids going onto the beach and doing the cleanup. That is how certain PTAs work. They form. So unless and until you don't build that consciousness, because I've seen people changing where, when they come for my cleanup
Mhm.
drive, and it's so difficult to remove that one plastic bag, which is not even worth 50 paisa, but to remove, they have to literally sweat, you know. That is the time they realize, oh, it is so easy to throw, but to remove this from this sand, from this bushes, it's sort of, that's where that consciousness begins. They understand it's not easy. Even a small cap, a
But do
bottle
you think
cap.
it's more about
Yeah,
consciousness, or government giving us the options, or like this is what you have to do, and these are your dustbins. But it's not just about
no,
dustbins, because for example, I
no,
come
I
from a
tell you.
village in Saligaon,
Yeah.
and we just have garbage collection on 2 days. So what do we do on the other days?
Okay. Let me answer this. Government, yes. Systems, for systems and law. Okay, government is required for placing the systems, but we have to understand when it comes to waste generation, the birth of
Mm-hmm.
waste, it's in your kitchen, it's in your dustbin. Okay, your responsibility doesn't end by keeping the dustbin outside the door. It starts from, you know, the very first thing. Then when you go to shop, okay, that time garbage is not even on your mind. So what are your actions? What are you
Okay.
buying? Do you even think that whether it's recyclable, whether it will go into a dry bin, whether it will go into a wet bin? Oh, okay, do I have an option for this? Can I take my bag and go out? You know, this is the first thing that should come. This is what I'm saying, consciousness. When this comes to me as an individual, any which ways the government also is a human being who has the same consciousness later. You know, but if we
All
don't
right.
build this, you know, if we don't tell this, you know, the kids what composting is, for many government officers, they don't know the difference between composting as a word and composition. You know, they they're two
Absolutely.
different things. You know, because he is into administration, he has been asked to become a chief officer or a secretary or whatever. He has no link. School doesn't teach you what is composting. School never taught so many kids that, you know, waste can become into a compost, or it can bring something which is a natural fertilizer. You know, I was not thought about
All
it.
right.
Then plastic can again be
And
converted
I'm
into
sure,
plastic.
I think
You know,
we have Talula who's also joined us, Gaurav, and I think she's someone, who
yeah.
builds not just sustainable buildings, but is trying hard to kind of create sustainability in Goa. And thank you for joining us, Talula. You've been smiling through all that Gaurav and I have been discussing. Can you share your thoughts with us on what we've been talking about? Does it all make sense? Or all this is just going to, like how they say, this is just this discussion will just end here. People will watch it and there'll still be no action taken by any of us.
So I just got some of the bits of the conversation because I joined late. Sorry for that. But it's a humongous task. So today I went all the way to Sulcorna. I had about 17 of us, and there were two vehicles with largely children, right from 4 years to 15 years. And our journey to Kepe was via Saucedo, which is a big garbage dump. And when I asked the children, can you imagine, what is this? They thought it was a hillock from far. But when we went closer, we realized they realized it's a huge, dump with layers of plastic. They could see it, you know. And that connection, I think, is important. If every day all of us had to see Sosdor dump, the large hill, every time we take something which has, a packaging, we would not, at least from at an emotional level, not buy something with packaging. Now, having said that, when we finally reached, we were doing volunteering in a farm, where we were, eventually supposed to build something in mud. But when we went to the Kushavati stream to, take a bath, again, there were picnic spots. There were like, we collected 4 bags of garbage. And every time it's the same thing. We do an educational program outside. We make the effort to take bananas, watermelons with zero packaging, and make sure that the children understand that there is food available with no packaging. And yet there is litter around, So from what you have already discussed, I think, if there is a law, we will all listen to it. But if it is left to us, there is 150% which will be littering, and there's the other 50% which will be doing, cleanups and cleaning. So it's happening in a cycle, right? So where do we stop? So the
Absolutely.
stop has to come in the form of a ban. If the government also cooperates and we say that, look, because earlier where was packaging, where was things coming in plastic, and having understood
True.
that, yes, certain things require packaging, but can we support local entrepreneurs, who are serving us in Patravadi? There's so many options. So I think, one, there has to be governments which say that we should ban this, companies which say that, let's take a step further, and let's say 50% we should change over to paper. Like if you go to McDonald's and others, they are already mandated. So earlier what was packed in plastic or served in plastic, already they're making an effort to package everything in paper with a wax coating. I don't know what are the impacts of that, but I think everyone should be mandated. I'm sure companies will take that extra step. There should be incentives in terms of tax. Finally, but the onus lies on us also. We can all lead zero, waste lives. And I think that consciousness has to come from each one.
Thank you so much, Tarula. Like I asked Gaurav, do you get dejected? You know, you put in so much effort, you try to kind of create this conscientiousness of being conscious about what is to be done in order to prevent further damage to Goa. But when you move about, whether it's Panjim or whether it's a semi-urban area, you still see garbage all around. And what are the first thoughts? Do you feel dejected that, you know, you're doing so much, but still the effect is not there at each step by the other people?
Because I feel consciously in everything, I feel I should take the first step. I feel I should, be able to do my social responsibility. So I think everywhere we should take that first step. And if we don't, then how will others also, take the lead forward? I don't think I feel dejected. I do feel angry. I've come a long way of having stopped tourists and everybody and saying that, oh, pick up your garbage, let's keep everything clean. But I don't believe that anything can be done by a single person alone. I think everything has to be collaborative. If we all get together, we are all working in our spaces, making a difference. I'm sure everybody is trying very hard. And again, like, the litterers also are not at fault to a level where they're conscious about it. They're just doing it out of habit. But when you connect to the problem more, positive manner or in a more conscious manner, I think that transformation happens. So I do not feel that I'm the last person to be dejected, because I'm always on high positivity. So I think we have to inspire others. We work with children. Children, of course, are so forgiving, and they of course want to do something. So while capitalizing on that, they become the bridge to connect to their parents, so adults who can make a difference. So I think collaboratively we can make a change. It's not a question of feeling dejected or not a question of being dejected. I think it is something that is critical. We can't say that, oh, this is not working out. We can put up our hands and say, there's nothing more to be done. There are plastic islands forming in the five gyres, and if we don't do enough, we are going to be, swimming in plastic. So I think there's no possibility of us just sitting back and waiting. We have to take
Absolutely.
whatever we can. Yeah.
It's high time now, and I think you spoke exactly something that I wanted to kind of evoke and say that it the onus also lies on the young, and we need to kind of inculcate that in the youngsters. And we have with us a very young boy today, Ivo Gonsalves. He's the co-founder of Goenkar Sangati, which is an initiative to organize various cleanup drives all around Goa. He's part of the professional social workers group of Aldona to organize various initiatives. And he's someone who studied social work in a college where I've been teaching in Don Bosco College. And besides being a great singer, I think he's doing amazing work in terms of, collecting garbage and inspiring youth of his age and the younger kids. So, Evo, can you really tell us, when you organize these weekly cleanup drives at various dumping spots, what is the response do you get from youngsters, and what is it in the mind of youngsters when it comes to garbage? Do they feel dirty about it? Do they feel it is their responsibility to take care of the earth? What exactly is in the mind of the youngsters, since you've been working with them
So,
on this aspect? Yep,
when
you
we
are.
first started, I started by focusing on Save Molam. And one day when there was this protest on Save Molam, my friends from Don Bosco College, Panjim, all got together. All of us were professional social workers. We were suddenly this thought came in our minds, like, what should we do? Other than focusing on Molam, we also need to focus on the various issues that lie within our own locality. And as professional social workers, we saw that it is our responsibility to take the first step, to take the first initiative, to focus on our locality. We cannot go and focus on some other locality when we have not dealt with the issues within our own. So we first started in Kojam Fort, just four of us. We went at 6 o'clock in the morning and cleaned up the entire area, and within two hours, we put it up in Aldona Matters, a group, and we saw the amount of response that we got from the people. We never went and asked people to join us because we wanted to be the first ones to take that initiative. And the amount of response that we got from the youth especially was tremendous. It was quite amazing to see the youth saying that you all have done an amazing job. We can actually see the difference. We can actually go in the evening, have a nice walk, take some photography over there. That is the kind of response we got from all the youth. And so we started with various initiatives of my friends from Ponda started the Goenka Sangati and made me the co-founder. And they are focusing more on the south area, and I will be focusing along with the professional social workers in various areas in the north. So we have had around 7 drives already, and our aim is to see to social mobilization. I don't think I think we've been bringing about awareness for quite some time, but rather instead of bringing about awareness, we need to mobilize the youth. There are many youth who I personally know who had this thought in their mind, like, I need to organize something, but they do not have that support. And we are trying to be that support for them. Like, we will help you. We will sponsor everything. We will speak to the panchayats, because in order to have a cleanliness drive, you have to get in contact with with the panchayat in order to dispose of that garbage once you have done up with the cleanliness drive. So many of these youth started messaging me saying that, see, I know so and so place which needs the cleanup drive. And just before the president could come in Goa, we wanted to have a cleanliness drive in Kampal Indoor Stadium, because if you have seen the amount of garbage over there, youth going, drinking, youth going and celebrating parties. And I'm really sad to say that most of this garbage is created by the youth. And even I was once part of it. I can't deny it, because even I have done that. But then this pandemic has all helped us in a particular way, and so it has helped me a lot. It has helped me realize what really needs to be focused on, because we used to just enjoy our lives. We're busy with college, but then being at home has made us thought like, okay, we need to do something towards society. We have seen a lot of change, because once the entire population went on halt, everyone went in their homes. You saw dolphins coming out, the water going clean, and all these changes you have seen. And this has made us realize like we have missed out a lot as youth. And social mobilization is something that we are focusing on. And we are also trying to focus on having some permanent solutions to this garbage problem. We have had a cleanliness drive recently in Aldona constituency, and it is like the entrance towards Aldona. No one would like to see garbage at the entrance of a beautiful village. And Aldona was recently named as one.
And I think you've made a very important point. None of us like to see a place dirty, whether it's a corner in our homes or somewhere around us or that surrounds us. I think we're just so used to sprucing up our place that we tend to kind of dirty the others or a public area, not realizing the repercussions. And I think I can give you my own example. Like when I just bought a new car in June, I browsed through the accessories and I made sure that the company that was selling me my car gave me the small little dustbin. There's this small little Swachh Bharat dustbin. Though a lot of stuff doesn't fit in the dustbin, I feel very proud to show off my dustbin in the car. And I think it starts with small efforts like these, where you keep your waste and then throw it out. But it's very true. Probably sometimes when we are at parties and we are drunk, we just don't realize where we are throwing our beer cans or what we are doing with our chip packets. And I think you've spoken well about the cleanliness drives. But how much of these cleanliness drives are really making the impact? Because you have a cleanliness drive on a Sunday, you collect all the waste, you get that disposed, you come back the next Sunday, it's all over the place. So do you think it is more to do with, a habit that we need to break, and we kind of need a little bit of psychology dose and classes of, how you kind of inculcate a habit, and, why we need to be conscious of all this, and less now on, segregation and composting. I think you need to kind of brainwash people into kind of giving them a guilt trip.
So what had happened recently also on the group was someone threw their box of the Amazon order with the address on it. And one of the persons saw this garbage and exposed them on Aldona matters, and it became a big issue. And people realized, okay, so we will get caught, because there's a clear sign over there saying that if you throw garbage, you're going to be fined 5,000 rupees. So yet people, there are certain rules and regulations right in front, but then education is of no point at this for us. And we cannot stop. That's one big thing. We are not going to stop at all. If you do it once and stop completely, there's no change going to happen. So we have to continue, and then slowly we'll see a change as we move ahead.
Absolutely. And I think this brings us to a wonderful end of a thought-provoking discussion. I'm hopeful, that people will watch this discussion, and at least if like 5 people have a change in their behavior, it will make some difference, because I think we're pretty used to us hearing that, what difference is it going to make if it's just me who's going to stop littering garbage. Everybody should stop. But I think a drop in the ocean, small drops make the entire ocean. And I think we need to understand that this has to be a continuous process. We need to start segregating. We need to think about not just our cleanliness, but we need to keep our mother earth clean, because we've got it free of cost. And we have absolutely no right to destroy this land, and we need to preserve it, at least for future generations. I would like to thank our panelists again. It was really great having you all. But I think half an hour or 1 hour on garbage disposal, segregation of waste is just not enough. And I'm sure my team and the team of Go and Edit will take this forward. We will have many more insightful discussions. And I would also like to give credit to the other people who we've not been able to feature on the show, who've been doing yeoman's work in the field of waste management in terms of garbage collection, segregation, children, teachers, everybody who thinks, that it's everyone's waste, and we need to take care of our land and collect waste, whether it's ours or not. Thank you once again, all 3 of you all, for joining us. It was a fantastic session. And Go and Edit Social Insider, is a newly launched YouTube channel. And at the core of this channel are 4 very young students who've been journalism students. Some of them are still working, and they are the ones who believe in fair and objective reporting, and I'm just helping them take this forward. And our idea is to report and cover news in a very unbiased and objective manner. Whether we are doing this or we will achieve this is to be decided by the Goans. But we wish to highlight and cover everything, from social, economic to cultural and everyday life conversations in the form of panel discussions, interviews, debates, and various other packages. This is just the 3rd episode, and we are work in progress, and we hope with a lot of support from Goans. We are people have asked me like which political party is supporting you all, and it gives me great pride and honor to say we are not associated with any political party. We are not running on any funds. It's just the funds that we collect by ourselves, and we pitch in when we have our snack discussions or our meetings to kind of talk about the next episode. But we hope we can serve Goans, and we would like to take up issues that are at the core of Goa, and that people would like to know about. Thank you once again. Keep watching us every Sunday, and do follow and subscribe to the Go and Edit. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.